not? Mushrooms. All things one tenant says she's living with inside her East Side apartment.
And she says management has been slow to act, if at all. News 5's Jordan Vandenberg gives us a tour.
Unsafe and unsanitary. That's how some tenants here at Park Place Apartments on the East Side describe their living conditions. And making matters even worse, they say, management isn't doing a thing about it. It's a living room that can't be lived in. A kitchen.
Nothing goes down.
That can't be cooked in.
I had to light my stove with paper. And my oven doesn't work at all.
In a bathroom that you wouldn't dare bathe in.
And that's where the water's been leaking from for over the past 6 months, I think, or 9 months. Yeah. It doesn't shut off. The water is actually off.
For Elizabeth Jackson's quaint apartment at Park Place, it's only getting worse.
I think that in this house we are getting sick. We're getting even more sick, especially him, because he likes to sleep downstairs.
Jackson's $900 monthly rent is federally subsidized, and she says the problem started a few months after she moved in. Bad pipes upstairs sent water through the ceiling downstairs. Maintenance fixed the pipes, left the hole exposed, and patched the downstairs ceiling. Jackson says that was the first and only time maintenance has been here.
The tub started to leak. And then we told them about that, and nothing. So that was 9 months ago, and now the ceiling is leaking.
It's a slow leak, but enough to fill a cup in a couple of hours. Enough to cause damage to the floor. And enough to cause mold and apparently mushrooms.
It was shocking. I'm like, I have mushrooms growing in my house. That is so unreal. I'm tired of living here in this condition. It's not something that I want my son to be in.
The property is owned by a Michigan-based company and managed by Independent Management Services. The company rep says roof repairs were made last summer, and the company has no prior knowledge of Jackson's apartment being in this condition. A voicemail Jackson has from the property manager contradicts that. Then the company said after a March inspection, a plumber came to fix the leaking pipes. Sure doesn't look like it.
They will send people here to give me eviction notices before they send people here to fix my stuff.
That's what happened, she says. Jackson has received eviction notices when she stopped paying rent out of protest. She's plotting her next move, both by choice and by necessity.
I dread this apartment so much. I dread being here. I hate coming home.
Jackson says other tenants have put their rent into escrow until the company makes repairs.
Yo, YouTube, what's going on? Trey back again, hit you with a video. Now this video right here is about a woman in her struggle, her pursuit to live in a decent, sanitary apartment. You know, everybody should be somewhere where the apartment is clean, or your house, if you have a house, your house is clean. And no one should be forced, even though she's not forced with a gun to her head, but, you know, due to her situation, income or whatnot, you know, maybe she has to resort to other measures of finding a place to stay, because she stated that her rent is subsidized by the government, which means she's under housing, Section 8 or whatever you want to call it. But the point is, it doesn't matter if she's under Section 8 or housing or not. Everybody deserves a safe and sanitary place to stay. And why would this apartment complex have people inside their residency and not even keep the apartments up? And the name of the apartments is Park Place Apartments. Now, if you staying somewhere, would you want to wake up and see mold all on your walls inside your attic? And one thing I need to tell you all is to be very careful about mold and about sanitary conditions in your house, because if you want to wind up really sick, I'm talking about really, really sick, where it's feel like you're about to die, and ill all the time, migraines and headaches, have mold in your house. I mean, if you have mold, the best thing to do, if you can't get people to come over there and clean it and remove it, because you have to remove the wood and everything. You just can't wipe the wood down, you know what I'm saying? Because it's a good chance, even if you get the mold, the mildew killer and all that, the sprays that you can buy that's heavy in acid and you can barely breathe in there because it smells so much like bleach. You will have to get somebody to come over, a private contractor, and they will have to put on a hazmat suit on, have to have their mouth and nose covered, because those spores, which mold release spores in the air, will get inside their respiratory system and also cause them illnesses. So nobody deserves to be living in these conditions. And also, you may have mold in your house and you not even know it. I mean, mold can grow. Most time it's growing in damp locations. You know, it's not going to grow where it's constantly sunny at. It have to be somewhere damp and moist all the time. Most your around your bathtub area, and also your kitchen area, and also around your air duct, your air vents in your house also, because when that air flows through there, whether it's cold or warm, it's still moisture, and that's how it grows. So I advise this woman right here, if these people do not want to come fix her apartment and have it where it's sanitary, she should definitely move out of there. Forget what the news say, forget what everybody else say, and the fact that you have mice in there also. You know, I mean, you living in pure filth. And did you see her bathroom? I mean, nobody deserves to live like that. I could not sit down and wash my butt in that bathtub. I am sorry, I would not sit my ass in that tub, because I guarantee you, you think you're getting clean, but you ain't getting clean, because trust me, it's mold all around that tub. And whatever happened to the front of the tub? You know, where the water come out the little nozzle, like somebody bit it off, a pit bull or somebody bit it off. What the hell is going on? And for that apartment to be $900 a month, I mean, that's a crime shame right there, to live in squalor like that. But it's true, when you live in cities like LA, New York, Chicago, Houston, you know, expensive areas, San Diego, San Francisco, the rent is sky high. You could pay basically $1,500, $2,000 and still live in squalor, still live basically worse than people in the projects or the ghetto. And no offense to the people in the projects or the ghetto, because some of them do keep their places up. It's not necessarily how much you make and how well you live. It's your upkeep. How well do you live? You know what I'm saying? Because you can be in a big old house, and the house be nasty as hell. So what's the point in that? But the point is, you need to inspect your house at least twice a year. You know, spring and also going into the winter, for possibilities of mold infestation. Because one thing about it, you do not want that mold to grow, because when it grows, it spreads. And trust me, if you walking around your house and you smelling something musty, like a musty odor in the air, it's a good chance it's mold. So I'm going to read a couple health effects of mold and what mold would do to you. And so in case of my subscribers, aka my family, if you all experiencing this, you can go get you help, and you can also get the hell out there to place, or get somebody to come over there and clean it. Because when they clean it, you still gonna have to go anyway, because all that stuff goes everywhere. And trust me, you do not want that stuff inside of your respiratory system, because you're gonna have all kinds of allergic reactions and all kinds of outbreaks. But here it goes right here. The health effects of mold. The greatest dangers of exposure to mold are the serious side adverse effects it can have on your health and on the health of your family members. Mold-related health problems range from a runny nose or a cough to life-threatening pneumonia. Mold can kill you. And if anybody ever told you that it didn't, now you know, and you can look it up also. Go to moldadvisor.com. But mold-related health problems range from a runny nose or cough to life-threatening pneumonia or bleeding in the lungs. Do you want all that? Because you have to understand what these mold release. Spores in the air, release spores in the air, and that stuff get inside of your lungs and everything, and it attached to it, and it messes you up. Now, potential health problems caused by mold include runny nose, a cough, sneezing, allergic reactions, hives, a rash, trouble breathing. If you have trouble breathing in your house, like one part of your house, it might smell more fresh, and you know you clean your house and you're a clean person. I'm not talking to the nasty ass people out there. I'm not talking to people who just nasty and wondering why they damn house smell. Maybe you need to take the trash out. But if you go to one area of your house and it's like the air is more cleaner, more fresher, and you go to another area and it smells musty and smell like, you know, like wet, dry clothes that have been hanging out, it's a good chance you have mold. So you need to get that checked out. And also, if you go in one area of the house and you sit for a while, more than like an hour or two, and your breathing start getting back on track and you feeling your stuff starting to feel more at ease, you're in a good spot of the house. So if you go to another area of the house and you having trouble breathing and you having trouble being focused and you coughing, runny nose and stuff, your eyes itching, it's a good chance that area has mold infestation, and you need to call somebody to come over there and clean it up, because you could tell in your house. But trust me, if you let it sit long enough, it will spread throughout your whole house if it don't kill you first. Let's continue. Now, it also has give you trouble breathing, sinus infection for those who have bad sinus like I do sometimes. Sometimes my sinus be perfect and sometimes I can barely breathe out my damn nose. But anyway, sinus infection, asthma attacks, And that's very serious with the asthma attack. Bronchitis, pneumonia, bleeding in the lungs, headaches, sore throat, fatigue, depression, joint pain, trouble concentrating. So it all affects you mentally and physically also. Because if you are the type of person who already have trouble breathing, and also you the type who's prone to headaches and migraines like me due to playing sports and, you know what I'm saying, corporate car wrecks, that wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault now. But anyway, you will be more susceptible to experience those allergic reactions if you in that proximity with a mold at. So my best thing to do, if you having these problems in your house, or if you think you do, if your intuition or something inside of you telling you, look, we need to get this under wraps, we need to check this house, or if you're just a person where you just want to make sure your place is clean, which I advise you to do the latter end, to make sure your place is clean, whether you think you have it or not. Just look and get it checked, because trust me, you will know it when you see it. Believe me. Now, the dangers of mold are greatest for infants and young children, elderly people, and those with certain pre-existing health problems. So if you are a child, you know, which I shouldn't be talking to no child right now, but for those who have kids, and also the young children and the elderly people, or people with pre-existing health problems where, like it says, you have asthmas, you have skin infections. When you get around that mold, it's going to intensify that by 10. It's going to magnify that. So be very careful, because this stuff is nothing to play with, because you have people that's waking up with headaches and migraines, and they're wondering what the hell is causing this. Maybe it's your Wi-Fi being on all night long too, because that messes with your mind too. And believe it or not, some of you all may be laughing, but it's the truth. But if you have your Wi-Fi cut off, or if you have it in a room separated from you, because I advise you, don't sleep in a room with your Wi-Fi router. You can look that up, because that's a different topic for a different video. Do not do that, because it gives off radiation. Anyway, like, if you having these situations and these problems right here, you need to really call somebody to come over there. Don't do it yourself, because I had to experience that, you know, and that's also one of the reasons why I was moving, because I was going through that situation where they had to take out basically the whole closet area, because I didn't even know, because when they had changed my hot water heater over, I did not know that the man had left like a little hole in the ground, and all kinds of wetness and moisture got in there, because that's where my hot water tank was. And before I know it, I closed the closet door. About 4 months later, it's like a whole damn forest in there. So I had to get out my place, had to let the people come over there and clean it up, and it took them like 2 days to clean all it up. I mean, they had to take the wood out. You can't just spray it and wipe it. You don't do that. You got to take the whole wood out. Whatever is that, you got to take it out. You throw it away. You bag it up and throw it away. You just can't even throw it out there. That's how contagious and bad this stuff is. You have to bag it up. And some people burn it, some people don't. But anyway, let's continue. Now, for instance, those with respiratory disorders like asthma, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and emphysema will likely suffer more from the effects of mold. Those with compromised immune system, like people who with HIV or acquired immune deficiency syndrome, AIDS, or people undergoing chemotherapy for cancer, are also more susceptible to mold-related illnesses. However, anyone can be affected negatively by mold, even healthy young adults. It don't matter if you're healthy or not. This is some bad stuff. So what I advise this woman to do, get the hell out that damn apartment, because if they already lying and say that they didn't receive no complaints from you, if they already lying and saying that you did not contact them, this is the first time I heard about that. If something happened to you, if you wind up on life support or dead at worst, they're gonna say, well, we didn't know anything about it. So the best thing for her to do, let that go. Contact the housing department, whoever your worker, your caseworkers is, or whatever, however they do it, and seeking you move. If not, you need to move regardless, because one way or the other, you're going to move willfully or you're going to move subconsciously. What I mean by that, either you can leave on your own accord, or you can wait till you get sick and pass out and almost wind up dead, and they'll remove your body then. The best thing to do is just leave the situation alone. Let them have that shit, because that's what it is. Because if you're dealing with mushrooms, mice in the mold, that's just way too much. That's just way too much. And the mushroom show there's a strong moisture level inside the air also. And also it's a perfect breeding ground for bacteria in these mold. That's why you have the mushroom. And the mice, they can just survive any damn well. Let me know what you all think. And also, if you want to comment down below about some of the things that you went through or going through right now when you're dealing with these landlords, because you have to remember, you have tenants' rights. Each state varies far as tenants' rights go. So if you're in Texas, is not going to be the same as California, just like California is not going to be the same as New York, and so on and so forth. So what you should do is look up your tenants' rights and see what your rights is, and make them take care of what they need to take care of, because you living around mold is just like you living around a loaded gun. Any day, it would be lights out. Let me know what you all think, though, about this video. If you like the video, push the like button. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. Definitely share the video. And also, go to moldadvisor.com and look at some of these conditions, because you wondering why you having these migraines or nosebleeds or feeling tired and fatigued all the time. It may be more than the fact that you're lazy, you know, or you're just tired, period. Anyway, y'all stay blessed. I'm out.